Brokers Alliance and the National Insurance Clearinghouse present the Business Insurance Zone, a Bravo video event. Broadcasting in HD 1080p on Vimeo, YouTube, the Insurance Newsnet, Agent Navigator, BrokersAlliance.com, and on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and the Insurance Forum. And now your host, the whiz of the biz, Steve Savant. Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone, the talk show that spotlights insurance in your practice, keeps you up to speed on insurance news and products, features insurance strategies from top advisors. Get in the zone, the Business Insurance Zone.
Welcome everyone, and our email address is thebiz@brokersalliance.com, or you can call us on our toll-free 1-800-290-7226 number, extension 147 for any quotes or any support material you need on disability, long-term care, annuities, group pension plans, and of course our forte, life insurance. And remember that anything you hear on our show today, all the strategies, tactics, whatever, I'm not a legal advisor or a tax consultant, so always check with your CPA and attorney. And if you have a broker-dealer, always make sure before going forward with anything we talk about on our show, except for today, talk to your compliance officer, because today we don't need a compliance officer, we need a doctor. And I want to introduce to you, and I've had Barb on my show before, but for you, it's Dr. Barb Provost from Provost Consulting from Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Well, Barbara, today, we've talked on the prior shows, we've talked about a lot of things, but I kind of want to go down what appears at first to be somewhat obvious to women, but it isn't obvious to guys. Mm-hmm. And since right now the vast majority, what's funny, women should be coming into our business like crazy, don't you think?
Yeah.
They could be cleaning up over the next 10 years.
Absolutely, yes.
Right now, over 95%, I'm sure it's higher than this, 95% of the entire advisory, I'm talking from life insurance to fee-based planners, all the way across the board, dominant men, over 95% guys. Mm-hmm. And older too, by the way, baby boomers. Mm-hmm. And if you were thinking about taking on a mentor and leading someone in, you should think about hiring a woman. Mm-hmm. By the way, I've noticed they are a little bit more detailed than guys, and I'm going to exclude the anal retentive among us. Not the analytics section of our male gender, but I am going to say a lot more nurturing, a lot more caregiving to our client, which is a high-profile issue. And since women are going to dominate the next 10 years of the greatest transfer of wealth to the baby boom generation, I'm going to get some money, cha-ching, but I better listen, figure out how to talk to these gals, because they're going to be running the show. Mm-hmm. So when I think about that, two things that we talked about that seem to be obvious, but I'm not going to go blow it off because they are major impediments for us selling women. And the first one is, and I have to tell you, I'm looking at this, how does she feel you're treating her? Mm-hmm. And I never think about that. I think about, well, I'm doing my job, I'm professional, I cleaned up, I did my shoes like you told me in like an episode before, right? I'm clean, my nails are done, haven't I done enough?
Well, all of that matters. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about, women notice everything. So they will get perceptions on how you're going to treat her by the way you dress for her, you're ready for her, you have the files in order when she's ready to come in and talk to you. You're well kept, as we...
Which was a new word for me a couple episodes ago, kempt.
You're not messy, you're not disorganized, you're ready to go. Then she knows that you have respect for her time, for what she needs to do. So that's important.
Well, I'm thinking when we're talking about treatment, I think, and I don't want to go back to Victorian England, but I do miss some of the civility and some of the honoring and some of the basic ways we greeted people. And, I kind of miss some of that. And I think that today we've become so uncivilized and we're a very profane society now. And I'm thinking when I'm using words that can convey that I am very interested in helping you, and I want to know, I want you to tell me, I want to discover, I want to unpack what's important to you. And how do I do that and treat a person with honor and respect without demeaning and especially patronizing? So to me, that's important, and I think women pick up on that way up front in the interview.
Absolutely.
And if that happens, the tone has been set, and not a positive one, I might add. And so I want to know, treatment issues, things that you think, I know we talk about these things and people say, it's so obvious, but then why do people break up? Why do thousands of courtship issues, why do men and women, they constantly are breaking up? The same issues that go on in breakups and courtships and marriages are the same issues of why women are not going to take you as their advisor.
Well, it's all around the respect and dignity issue. It's how you speak with them. It's if you listen to them. It's if you take them seriously, not being demeaning to them. Really explaining what they need to know in order to make a really good purchase around life insurance or any other financial product. It's about asking them good questions and then listening, writing down what they have to say and repeating it back to them so that you're clear and you're consistently asking, am I hearing you correctly? Is this what it is that's important to you?
And you should ask that question not at the end.
No.
As you're going.
Yes.
Right? I remember distinctly almost about 10 years ago, I was in with another advisor, and he must have said, and was a matriarch of the family. Dad was already passed. She was there with her 2 daughters who were both highly educated, understood what was going on, and he must have said 34 to 50 times in an hour, he used the word, and of course, everyone knows. And that line got on my nerves, and I said, to bail him out, I threw myself under the bus and said, I'm not really sure I know that.
Right.
Because I wanted to save him from himself.
Right.
They're sitting there. It was patronizing. He was like, of course, everybody, well, they didn't know. They wanted to ask questions. He never, and that was the other thing, the pause that refreshes. He was running over them. And I want to say, hear that, and then, how was that? Did I say too much? Do I want to pull back? I want to be able to say, how do I treat, I don't mind. It's kind of like in the old days, my dad, when I first started dating, in the 60s, my dad says, you pull out a chair for a while, open up the door for a while, you're polite, you show civility. This is the way things are done. And you honor, and you do all these things. But not at the expense of making a person a weaker person or a second-class citizen, but at the issue of dignity. Now, because women pick up on interviews so quickly, this is why it's a concern. This is why I'm uptight about it. Because I think we're making major league classic mistakes that are causing us not only not to get the case, but we don't have the relationship. And what scares me about social media today, and we use it as a positive thing at Brokers Alliance, but this could be totally a boomerang effect. You set the tone wrong. You didn't get the case. You just did not get her case.
Right.
You got everybody that she plays with on Facebook.
Right.
Everybody just took your practice down a couple notches, and the bigger her Facebook community, you could have lost 50 to 100 clients overnight.
That's right.
The flip side, if you did a great job, you could be on Facebook and 50 to 100 people know your name without spending a dime.
Right, and that even happened before Facebook ever came to be. Women talk with other women. They have lots of social groups and networks that they talk to. They share information, good stories, good situations, bad situations. And if somebody needs a reference, the first thing they're going to do is ask their female friends, who do you use for your personal finance? Who do you use for your attorney? Who do you use? And they're going to give them, I like this guy, didn't like that guy, and why they liked them. So absolutely, I mean, Facebook blast it out even wider, but they still have networks and communities that they share information.
There's a restaurant here, I don't want to give them a plug, but there's a restaurant that's dominated by older women in Scottsdale. That restaurant is packed with women, and when we did one of our women's seminars there years back, I remember distinctly a conversation at our table where she said, who's my advisor? My advisor is such and such. I'm here to see if they're different. She was at ours. She had already thought, I'm not dating this guy any longer. She had already pushed him aside because otherwise she wouldn't be here.
Right.
And now here's the secondary area. If I have a seminar and I have a dominant women population especially, or it's 50%, and I don't address, they're there for a reason. And they're there because there is some form of disenchantment, some form. Otherwise, why are they going, right?
Right.
So my thing is, how can I clue myself in to become awake to these issues? How can I start to think like you think? How can I do that?
Well, a lot of time it's around a self-assessment or having other people assess you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking people to assess, you know, the way that you sell a product or the way that you explain things, you know, and having a constant community or a group of people in which you can practice that. Or talking to women, having women come into your office and asking them questions. What do you think about my office? What do you think I should do about this or that? Getting their opinion, getting their input and feedback. Because women, even though if they purchase from you, they will consistently look. If they're not 100% pleased, women are always searching and gathering more information, more information, more information. They may have a sales conversation with you, but they may go out to the internet or talk to friends and still gather more information before they make the sale with you.
I'm thinking about a critical moment. This is a true confession on the air. Where Dr. Barb called me out on something. Do you remember that video you were watching? And I had on one of my colleagues who I totally respect and love and have a great relationship with her. And during this video, Dr. Barb's observation was, it didn't seem like you, when she was talking, you never engaged her with your eyes. You didn't look over to her. You were busy. And part of it is radio. I have to stay on top of what's the next thing up. But I thought, well, I wonder if Dr. Barb is being overly critical. So I had somebody else look at it, i.e. my wife, and she goes, well, I know you don't mean to do that. And she said it right up front. Her first answer, I'm sure, but yes, it looks like you don't think what she says is important. And sometimes they, in the video age, right, caught on camera, you have to fess up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious you're culpable, bro. You need to listen to Eve. I mean, I just find it so intriguing. Well, listen, we come back. Dr. Barb's going to serve up her top 10 tips.
Yep.
And this could be worth a big video, but we only got a segment to do this. Listen, you're listening to the Business Insurance Zone. You can watch us on any of our videos and pick up on any of the shows you've missed with Dr. Barb. They're really great. You're going to learn a lot. It's great for your practice. You're listening to the Business Insurance Zone, the talk show that focuses on insurance in your practice and how to talk to a woman about insurance in your practice. Dr. Barb Provost.
Steve Savant here. For years I've heard that less than 2% of all term life insurance ends in a claim. That's not many, and clients had to die to receive the benefits. That's the old term insurance. Now start selling the term insurance. The term insurance that covers your client through a chronic illness, a catastrophic event, or a terminal diagnosis, and pays their monthly premium during extended periods of unemployment. What term life insurance can do all that? Western Reserve Alliance Advantage Term with living benefits. No other term insurance product bundles so many solutions to life's unexpected problems. And all in one policy. So for more information, call Brokers Alliance 1-800-290-7226. Stop selling the old term. Start selling the new.
It's